Dello Delegates, Misa propose that the Senate vote immediacy emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor. We're back!
What is up, pod racers? Welcome back to the Coruscant Courier podcast with your host, Jonathan and Mark. And today we are going to be talking about Star Wars The Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 11, Shattered.
Now this is podcasting.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. So, I just wanted to start off right away, diving into this episode. What did you think about the beginning of this episode? Take it away, Jonathan.
It was insane. Quite honestly, I actually enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the previous episode, Phantom Apprentice. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think this was the greatest episode ever put together in Clone Wars history. And
The greatest? Wow.
I was stunned at how incredible the pacing was of the episode, and just the pure intensity of it. Obviously, we're going to break it down piece by piece, so I don't want to throw any spoilers out there yet, but this episode had me literally sweating on my chair because I was so nervous to see what was going to happen. And Dave Filoni, my goodness, you brilliant Bothan. You did it again. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful from the beginning. Yeah, it was great. And I think we all kind of knew what was coming. So, by the way, a spoiler warning: if you have not seen this episode, come on, you shouldn't be listening to this. So go watch the episode. Go watch all three. We're going to talk about the whole arc. So you have been warned.
Yes, you have been warned. So, and if you haven't seen those episodes yet, why on earth are you listening to this podcast?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's treason. It's treason. Okay, so let's jump into the episode. So right off the bat, we see Bo-Katan, we see Gar Saxon, #Rebels. What's up? We see Bo-Katan. We see those gunships landing, and we see Ahsoka coming off the ship with a captured and very not depressed, not dead. What's the word? Stunned Maul. The very stunned Maul.
He's like tranquilized. It looks like.
Yeah, completely done. He's toast, but. Yeah, so he's still wrapped up.
Wrapped up. I'm gonna say, man, he's in a case that Ahsoka described as that I don't even think Maul could get out of this thing. I mean, it was sort of.
I guess you could say she got this case wrapped up.
Wow, that's Sorry. Well played. Well played.
Thank you. Star Wars puns, they're good.
Yeah, that was kind of cool to see that. That's the measures. Of course, that's the measure they had to take to make sure Maul didn't escape. Was put him in this looked like completely bulletproof and almost explosive proof case to where there's no way he could have forced himself out of there.
Yeah, that was a Mandalorian, very specific, like Jedi carrying case. It was. Yeah, that was pretty.
Didn't we
dark.
see one of those ever in some capacity? Maybe during season 4 or 5, like around the Lawless area. I know that it was mentioned.
Yeah, for some reason I feel like we have seen that, but I'm not positive. I don't want to say that we have or we haven't. But it looked familiar. Like it didn't seem like very confused by it. I guess I'll say that. But yeah, I was like, oh, that looks familiar. But yeah, so they put Maul on that. But before that, Rex lets Ahsoka know that they've attacked. He's got the Jedi Council on the line, which is really cool.
I was freaking out.
Yeah,
when he said that.
Yeah. So, John, you want to introduce what council meeting that was?
Sure. So the first cut scene that we see is Mace Windu. Of course, this is all in hologram. We see Mace Windu, Yoda, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Ayla Secura pop up on the screen, and Mace Windu says, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi," and I was like, "Dude, this is insane! Here we go again." And I don't quote me on this. I haven't researched this, but I think they actually took the movie cut audio and inserted in. It actually sounded like the movie cut, especially when
Um,
Mundi spoke. It was perfect. It wasn't like close. It was perfect. What
yeah.
do you
So
think?
I think they took Mundi and Ayla Secure. Well, wait,
She doesn't talk.
she's talk. Wait, who else talk? Oh, it was just him. And okay, yeah. I
Yoda.
think
Yeah.
his. Yeah, oh
Yoda's
man,
was
I
not.
didn't.
Yoda's was definitely the voice actor.
I didn't. Yeah, Yoda and Mace. You were definitely Tom Kane and I forgot the guy who plays Mace Windu. I'll remember it later. It was definitely them two. Mundi. Yeah, I feel like Mundi's was straight up. I
It was
didn't.
perfect.
I looked at the credit list at the end of the episode, but I didn't see his name. I saw. I didn't. I don't think he was mentioned in the credits, so I think he was straight up from episode 3. Yeah, I thought it was so cool, and then to see that scene continues, like after they talk about Grievous and to a dark place, this train of thought will carry us. Usually the scene ends there in episode 3, but
Yep.
in this, it doesn't. It keeps going. It's awesome. I was
It
like, oh, this is so good.
it
It's one of
really
those
was.
like secret things, like Ahsoka was just out of frame, in episode 3. That was really cool.
I will never look at Revenge of the Sith the same again, and that's a
Oh,
good thing.
it's
Like
impossible.
I thought I still think it's one of my top 3 movies of all time, but this is going to make it even better. So it was just really cool to see the rest of that scene, and then they thanked Ahsoka, of course, for her service to the Republic for capturing Maul, and the question that was posed by Yoda after Ahsoka and Rex enter was he was just like, well, hey, you've done a great service to the Republic, and she said, I'm doing my duty as a citizen, as a Republic citizen,
Mm,
and Yoda goes, not as a Jedi, and Ahsoka responds,
not
no,
yet.
not yet. So
Yeah, that was good.
that was an insane line because
And then and
she's
then you
still
get
disillusioned by the Jedi. You kind of get that idea.
yeah, still there. And then they start talking about. She's like, "Well, I did want to talk to Anakin," and like, "Well, he just went to inform the Chancellor that Grievous has been um, not captured, but that Obi-Wan has made contact with Grievous." And then they start talking about Darth Maul, like successful with the mission, and then oh yeah, no, and then not Ayla, Ahsoka says, "Oh, then that means the wars might be over." And then Mace, under his breath, almost says that, "Well, that's up to the Chancellor." And then
Oh, I
Ahsoka's
cannot
like,
believe what he said.
"Well, what do you mean by that?" And then Mace says, um,
Sorry,
that's
that
up for the
yeah,
council to decide, citizen, or something.
citizen.
Sorry, citizen. And that
S-
to me, I thought this immediately. I was like, well, this further solidifies why I hate Mace Windu.
I cannot believe. Don't get me wrong. I despise Mace Windu. He's the whole reason Order 66 happens because he never trusts Anakin. He treats him horribly, and because Mace Windu breaks the Jedi code by killing Sidious, Anakin realizes
We're
he's
trying
no
to kill
different
City.
than Mace Windu because he killed Dooku and felt bad about it, but now Mace Windu's doing the same thing. He's like, oh, the Jedi and the Sith are the same. So we kind of
He
see a little
must
bit more.
live. I
Yeah,
need him.
we see more of his character now. Just how I mean, Ahsoka just captured, really. I mean, you could make the argument the second most dangerous person in the galaxy,
Yeah.
and he has the nerve to talk to her like that. I was actually infuriated, and I was just like, you know what? You know what, Mace? I can't wait to see you die a worse death on Monday when you get thrown out the window. Maybe we're gonna actually see you fall away all the way to the bottom. It would be more satisfying. Like
Yeah,
I have, wow,
just how things could have been different if he didn't act like a punk. Oh man, that it hurts my soul. But yeah,
yeah.
that just further solidifies why I hate Mace Windu. Like, I mean, I don't like Mundi, but Mace Windu is up there. Like,
I would
that
say
dude, man.
Mundi and Windu are for sure at the two top of my list as Jedi I enjoyed watching die. And I know that sounds terrible because I love the Jedi, but uh, wow, just I mean, Mundi is just, especially in the Clone Wars series, we really kind of see how arrogant him and Windu really are. And
Oh well, I
this,
mean, yeah, Windu in this Mace in this episode so much. Like, oh my goodness.
and that's a bummer too. I mean, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. I'm not
yeah.
saying I don't think he's a good character. I think his character is incredible.
Oh, and I love Samuel L. Jackson
I
to
love
death.
Samuel L.
He's
Jackson. Like,
amazing.
man,
Like,
they were fantastic.
yeah,
It's just I hate them as the character in the movie because
because they're the principle, the icon of what is wrong with the Jedi Order.
exactly.
Like, they are, like, the poster boys for what is wrong with the freaking Jedi Order. And if Mace Windu just would have talked to Ahsoka, Ahsoka would have told him what Maul said about Anakin, and that the Chancellor would have been a red flag, and they would have been like, "Oh shoot, we got to get over there now because this is going down." Because the
Wow.
dark side of the Force surrounds the Chancellor.
But that didn't happen. So good job, Jedi. Wow, that's
I know, I know,
uh
I
hey
know.
Mark,
Yes.
be quiet, citizen.
Ugh, I
I
hate
know.
it.
I think this is going to be a thing now. Just wait. I think this is going to be a thing in the
Gross.
Star Wars community. I was looking at some discussion board posts and social media posts earlier, and people were posting about this hardcore.
Oh yeah, everyone hates Mace Windu now.
They hate
Even
him,
more.
man.
Oh
They're
man, like
just
here's
like,
the thing. I didn't hate him like a ton in I don't really I didn't even actually like him in the movies. I hate what he did there at the end with Anakin. I think that he would kind of push Anakin over the edge, and I liked him in the Clone Wars series too. But this today, I was like, okay, you suck. I don't like you.
I I'm going to read you a tweet that somebody said about Windu. It's pretty. Of course, it's clean. We always have clean content on here. We don't ever use any foul language or anything.
Correct.
We keep it family friendly. But I'm going to read to you guys this tweet um, that this guy decided to say about Mace Windu today. He says, "Windu, I hate you, especially after today's episode. I am so glad you're getting yeeted out of the freaking window. But I gotta say, it was solid though. I just thought that was funny. He wants to get yeeted out the window. I never thought about that now, but
Yeet.
he did get
Yep.
yeeted. But
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
this further solidifies the fact that there's no way Mace Windu is surviving. I'm pretty sure Filoni wants to make sure that this character is dead.
Well, I think we all
So
want him dead now.
I think we all do, and him and Katie Mooney was dead anyway. But
I mean,
um,
I'm really enjoying Star Wars theories fan films. Um, but well, I guess we'll get to see Window die again, so I'm okay with that.
mhm.
But yeah,
Well, actually, going off of that, I was reading the future synopsis of Monday's episode, and obviously there's no information on it. They don't release anything,
no,
but
you
it's
read that already?
I mean,
I
there's
can't
almost nothing
stand it.
there. The only
No.
thing it said is that this episode, as of right now, the casting time is scheduled to be 25 minutes. So
Oh no.
I don't know how much they're going to be able to fill in on Monday. So I'm kind of concerned now that I've seen this Windu thing. I was just like, are they actually going to even show Order 66, or are they going to leave us hanging? So no. Well, I guess we can talk about that in a little bit. But since you brought that up, I figured I would
Well, I'm
chime
really
that
bummed
in.
about that. I really wanted to see like a 40-minute episode. That would have been amazing.
I
I mean, it
think
may
they
be a little longer. I mean, because the longest one we had was what 29
it was
minutes.
like
I think that was last week's 27.
that was episode
It was
9, though,
long.
wasn't it? Wasn't that
I think it was episode 10. I think it was last week, so it was a little bit
Phantom
longer.
Apprentice
But
was longer?
yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean, come on. That I mean, I think it's you might argue this, but it's hard to disagree that that has been the best episode we've seen yet. That was so good.
It's
Not
either
because of like,
that one or this or Shattered. I mean, it's
I
pretty
mean,
close.
Shattered was really good, but man, this last week's was great. But anyway,
Different
so
pacing.
moving
Yeah.
on. Yeah, totally different
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah,
But
moving on.
moving on with that. So they leave the meeting, and Yoda's like, "More to say." I can't do Yoda, but
Mortars I
and
have you?
then Ahsoka is really almost about to say something, and then she's like, "No, I'll just tell Anakin when I see him." I'm
What is
like, "Oh
she
my
wanting
gosh!"
to tell Anakin? This has been 3 episodes now. What is it? It's killing
Well,
me.
I don't know. I mean, it could be wanting to talk to Anakin about what Obi-Wan has told her to talk about. Maybe just to say I miss you or something. I don't know. Like, I think she just wants to talk to me. And you have a different view on this, and it's weird for me, but you can
I'm
share it.
not saying I have a different view, but I got very weird vibes from when they saw each other in episode 9, which was what was the title of episode 9? It wasn't Phantom Apprentice, the one before that.
Old friends not forgotten.
Old Friends Not Forgotten, yeah. So it wasn't from him. Obviously, he was almost shell shocked that he was seeing her because he didn't expect it. But it was the way she looked at him. It's almost as if she was going to tell him that she loved him.
I
Now
in a
listen, hear me
romantic
out on
way.
this. hear me out on this,
Ugh. Bleh.
and I know that's weird, but
It is.
I
I'm
don't
almost gonna cut you off here,
I
but I'll
don't
let you go.
think it should be surprising, um, for a couple of reasons. One, she doesn't know that Anakin and Padme were
I disagree.
I
I think
Ahsoka
she
doesn't.
does.
Ahsoka doesn't.
Uh,
I know Obi-Wan is suspicious, but there's no way how would Ahsoka know?
well, because I mean, Ahsoka, whenever she protected Padme, oh gosh, it was in a way old episode.
It was probably in season 2.
Whenever Aura Singh comes back and is trying to kill Padme,
Oh, yeah, that's yeah,
um,
yeah.
there she kind of figures it out in that episode. You should probably go rewatch that. But
I
no,
don't know, man.
I think
I
that
just
that
got
is
those
no.
vibes from her. It was weird. I can't tell you why because I never would have saw it coming. But you have to understand she's not in the Jedi Order anymore. So what wouldn't have been a thought then might be a thought now. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I got those kind of weird vibes from her in which I kind of felt like she wanted to tell Anakin the way she really felt about him. And maybe it's just she wanted to talk to him about how great of a master he was and she appreciates his training. It might have been that, but I got that it was something deeper than that. And
Yeah, but
I
it could have been
wonder
deeper.
if
But I don't.
Filoni is gonna end up releasing what exactly that is, because I am curious, and that's what I think it is. Not saying it's right. I know it sounds crazy,
It
but
is crazy.
crazier things have
No,
happened. Uh,
I don't
you
think so.
you couldn't have told
I'm
me in
passing
Phantom
on that one.
Menace that that little kid was gonna end up marrying the queen. So just saying.
No, he's just 9 and she's 14.
I
Yep.
know.
Yep. But no, that's weird. I don't like that. I
I
think it really
don't
gets some
either. I'm
hate for
just
that
telling
one.
you. That's what I saw. I report it as I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on because that's gross. So we see Ahsoka being to leave with Maul. Maul's in that Mandalorian capsule thing, which is pretty cool. And Bo-Katan says that they used to use that in the bygone era, or of an era long ago when Mandalorians had to imprison force wielding maniacs.
That was so funny.
That was like, oh, that's creepy. And that was the last one of their kind because Satine had already outlawed them. So that was the last one. So that's good to know. I assume that's the last we'll see of Bo-Katan. I think we're done there.
At least for a while.
Honestly, we left Mandalore a lot sooner than I thought we would. Like we're like, wow. Like I am shocked.
I am
Are you?
really wondering where in the world they're going to go with this on the last episode. I
Yeah. We just got the Maul and Ahsoka fight so much sooner than I thought we would, and I think that threw everybody off. Getting in episode 2 instead of like 3 or 4. So I don't know. Like it was definitely weird. So I mean, it's not as much the Siege of Mandalore anymore. It is Order 66 and Ahsoka and Rex's story of episode 3, which is wild. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but anyway,
I
so
think honestly we're going to get another season at this point.
uh,
I know that Disney had cut this to 12 episodes. Obviously that wasn't Filoni's idea. I
no, it
don't think
actually was
originally.
Filoni. Filoni wanted it to be 12 episodes. He just wanted to do 3 arcs, and then end it with Maldalore.
Maldalore like that. I still don't think this is it. I either think there's going to be a spin-off from this or we're going to have some sort of special Disney Plus theatrical movie after this. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's going to be too much information to fill in one 25-minute episode. So
I don't know.
I
I mean, we
just
get a lot in the Ahsoka book, and then we get some stuff in Rebels. I mean, yeah, there's stuff to fill in, but I don't know how important it's gonna be. Honestly, I really don't.
there's some things that they're going to have to explain is where does Ahsoka go from here? Where does Rex go from here? Where does Maul go from here? And clearly, I don't think Dave Filoni is going to ignore Order 66 in the grand scheme of things. We're definitely going to have to see some Order 66 scenes.
See, now I would say arguably I'm more interested in how Maul gets to Solo than anything, and then I'm curious how Maul gets from Solo to Rebels. How he
Yes,
goes from right now. I mean, I can understand how he would get back to his people who went into hiding, like Dryden Voss and the Pikes and the Black Sun. So I figured I get that in the Shadow Syndicate. I figured that out, but then I want to know how he gets from Solo to Rebels. How he goes from like crime lord to being lost in the depths of Melkor. So
I have
anyway,
theories on that too.
I don't know how likely that is that we'll get more Ahsoka Rex kind of stuff, but I'm excited for it.
Oh,
If we
you
do,
see, I'm expecting. Oh, you talking about it as a series or in this episode?
no, as a series or an extra season, but
Oh yeah, yeah, no. As a series, I don't think so.
no.
But I have to tell you, I would imagine Filoni is going to show some Order 66 clips in this next episode
Oh,
because
I would hope.
obviously
I mean,
we saw it,
I
you know,
I think we're gonna see that. I mean, because here's the thing: Order 66 has already happened, and we're already like what 10, 15 minutes beyond that. So it happened like halfway in the episode. So what I
here's
think is
one
gonna
thing we know
happen,
though.
I think no, no, I think it's gonna be Ahsoka recapping the events of the Clone Wars, the Siege of Mandalore and all that, and recapping Order 66, and then we're gonna see that montage of surviving Jedi or Jedi who perished, etc., etc.
But we do know that the Order 66 doesn't happen at the exact same time around the galaxy, right? There is a bit of a delay
Right.
because Sidious has to relay
Well,
the
yeah, it has to get to
calls and all the
everywhere.
different commanders. Maybe a lot of Order 66 hasn't happened yet. Or I mean, I think it has, but I'm just
I think
throwing it out
the
there that it's
majority of
possible.
it has, yeah.
Yeah.
But like we'll see. I think we're gonna see Kanan in Depa Balaba,
See, I was
and
expecting to see that today, and we didn't. I was a little
well,
surprised.
it was like 99% Ahsoka Rex driven, which
Oh
I
yeah.
think is important because we needed to know how that happened. So a lot of people were upset at the Rebels line that saying that Wolf, Gregor, and I removed our chips because we all had a choice. They're saying that well that's completely making that line a lie.
I don't think so. I think that it was supposed to be a lie. They were telling that to Kanan so that
Yeah,
Kanan wouldn't kill him or get upset.
right.
I really think that's what it was. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
continuity
I
error.
there's so many different yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Rex was trying to save all of their butts because of Wolf because he went off the hinges. So
Yep.
he had to try to some way
And Gregor was
appease.
just kind of loony as it was. So,
Yeah, like Gregor.
but anyway,
So anyway, we'll get back on track here.
yeah, for sure.
So anyway, the we see the capsule. You know, they enclose Maul into this detention cell, almost very similar to the New Hope detention cell, where they would put someone like Princess Leia, except it's this shielded door. It's actually like a shield, not like a ray shield, but what would you consider that? Like a laser, like a like it's
Oh
almost like a
gosh, like
laser
what
door.
is the? I don't.
I don't know the name for it. I
I don't.
really have never
I
known,
know because it's not a ray shield because that's what.
but it's similar.
Um,
It has the idea of
yeah,
a ray shield.
I should know the name of that. But yeah,
We'll
they
figure it
may
out.
call it the same thing. Yeah.
But
Either way,
anyway,
the red thing that
yeah,
Obi-Wan gets caught behind when Qui-Gon gets killed in Episode 1. Spoilers. So
yeah, same thing.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
good.
so he's in there, he's sealed off, but of course you can see that he is in
Oh,
his
he's got his
mind.
eyes open. He's
No, but
so like,
but are you
dude, that
noticing
was
in
a
his
creepy
mind?
vision.
Well, you see in his mind that he was trying to communicate with Ahsoka. Did you pick up on that? That he was
Yeah,
trying? Yeah.
right before they get put into he gets put into the cell. Yeah, they had a little moment, and then actually I was watching again just a little while ago. My wife was like, "Oh, I bet they're gonna team up," and I was like, You'll
What
see."
we thought,
And
but that
honestly,
didn't happen.
I thought too. Yeah,
But
we'll get
she
there.
was right. Well, we're gonna get there in a second.
Yeah. So then you see Rex and Ahsoka walking out of the bridge, and then Ahsoka starts talking about how, as a Jedi, they were trained to be peacekeepers, but all she's ever known is war and not peace. And then Rex, they have a moment about Rex says, like the clones, we really don't know how we feel about it at the war, but then again, we wouldn't exist without it. And then Ahsoka says, the
Ooh,
Republic could not have asked for um, better soldiers, and I couldn't have asked for a better friend. And I was
I
like,
was
oh
like,
my gosh.
oh, it hit me in the feels. But
He's
no, the second he said, I don't
gonna
know.
try to kill
I
you.
don't think we wouldn't be here without the war. I was just
Ugh,
immediately thinking to myself, whoa, that is literally the truest statement. Like, that's the whole reason the clones are there is for the war, this
yeah, like
fake war that
we
was
hate it,
created.
but that's
Yeah,
why we're here.
this
So
fabricated war.
yeah.
And then, of course, they get, I don't know which clone it was, but a clone comes in and tells Rex that, hey, Commander, you're needed for a briefing. So, anyway, he goes in, and the second I don't know about
Oh,
you. The
whenever
second
he
he
said
said you have
briefing,
to go in for a briefing, I started audibly like, no, 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 no. This is bad. This
uh,
is bad. This is bad. Like I was, I think you probably did too. I know I did. The second he said it, I was like, this is Order 66. That's the briefing. What
yeah,
did you
like I
think?
was like, oh no, I can't. Oh yeah, I think everybody was like, "Oh no, this is it," and you're like, "I'm not sure if I can do this again." Like seeing, like I've seen Episode 3, Order 66, hundreds to thousands of times, and then for it to be presented in this new way, um, terrified me, and I was like, "No, I don't want to be a part of this. I can't sit through this. I can't go through this again."
I was yeah, it was terrible. It was
Mm.
awful.
So then
Uh,
Ahsoka's still on the bridge, and then Rex goes in there, and you see Palpatine's face under his hood, and he says,
Execute
"Execute."
Order
Yeah,
66.
and you hear Rex say, "Yes, Lord Sidious." Like,
It's like,
ugh,
ugh.
like man, the jig is up, the cat is out of the bag, and this is happening. And then you see them come in, like Ahsoka try to come in, and you begin to see the clone troopers get around her, and she's like, "Rex,
What's
what's going
happening?
on?" Yeah, and
Well,
then he's
but
like, "No, let me do it."
it's Rex though, when even before he turns around that he's shaking. Like
He
his
drops his
helmet
helmet.
is turning around and you can tell
He's fighting it.
he doesn't want to do it, but literally he is almost being remote controlled to do it.
Oh yeah,
But
totally.
he misses her. He's able to to resist enough to where he shoots over her shoulder and doesn't hit her. Um,
Well, Annie says, find him, find fives." And did you see the tear that came down his face?
yes.
Oh,
Oh
that
my
got me.
gosh, it was. Ugh. And then, of
Oh
course, she
man,
had no
Rex.
choice but to kind of knock him out, and she did. You know, she force jumped at him.
Dude, the
Uh,
way that she handled all that gunfire, that
insane.
blaster fire, oh my
The
gosh. And
music, though,
then
the music did it for
oh.
me.
So yeah, I have a note about the music. It felt like, I don't know if you've seen Interstellar, but if you've seen Interstellar, that music felt Interstellar and felt like so good. Even my wife was like, "Yeah, music was like really good this episode."
But
Yeah,
you
the
notice,
Interstellar music was so good.
but you notice what music it was, though, while this was happening, right?
It's all kind of a blur. I just remember the music being slow,
It was the
melodic, and
actual
terrifying.
Order 66 music. As remember when Yoda clutches his
Uh,
heart and he feels everyone dying?
really?
That was the music that was playing during that Ahsoka scene.
I've only watched it twice, but I need to watch it more. I mean, I was so caught up in the moment this time.
It
Like
was
I was just sitting there and just watching it.
it was dum 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 dum. You know that really creepy Order
Yeah.
66 music,
Mhm.
and I was just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! This is insane." And so she's making all these circles with her lightsabers, and she's blocking all these bullets while this music is going on, like
It
literally
was awesome. Yeah.
fighting for her life because that Order 66 music is pretty indicative that oh, people are gonna die now. So
Yep.
she is somehow able to fight off probably 100 or so blaster rounds, and she makes a hole up in the ceiling and she escapes. And from there, we pretty much knew what her next move was going to be,
Yeah.
and that was
Find
to find Maul, because then we get
Mog.
the order from Rex after
Yep.
the clone trooper. The clone trooper goes, "Sir, are you okay?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just tired. It's all." He's like, "Go,
Yeah.
go
Execute
execute
Maul.
Maul."
And then he
And
talks about how the Jedi are marked for termination against treason against the Republic. And then I thought this was interesting the second time around too. Any soldier that doesn't comply with that order to execute the Jedi will also be executed for treason. And I was like, oh man, that's gonna be you, dude. That's gonna be
yeah,
you.
well, I think there's an important thing that we're missing here in this is that once again, I'm gonna once up bring again a theory. I'm gonna try to stay away from the Plo Koon theory. Obviously, I'm very confident at this point he is alive because Ahsoka would have felt him die, and she didn't in this scene,
Okay,
which I
crazy.
think is very important. So I do think he's alive. But I say this that there's a lot of Jedi who were incredibly loyal to their clones who we do not see on screen, who maybe did the same thing as Rex, who maybe tried to buy them a couple of seconds to escape. Um, this would not have been just Rex and Ahsoka. We very well, this could have been Wolf. This could have been, obviously, it wasn't with Cody. Cody was obviously not as close with Obi Wan as Rex was with
Well,
Ahsoka.
Yeah, Rex had a very special relationship with Anakin and Ahsoka for
But some
sure.
of these clones that have very close relationships with their Jedi, I think this was a hint from Filoni that there is going to be some that this has
Some
happened
others.
with other clones and with
Yeah.
other
Well,
Jedi.
I mean, I can agree and disagree with that because I mean, I forget the trooper's name, but he was basically like the captain or commander for Ayla Secura was like
Why?
in love with her.
Why?
But yeah, and he apparently was in tears as he was doing it. So I mean, I can agree with it, but at the same time,
He
he
was
didn't.
trying to hold back though. He was literally trying not
Right?
to do it. But
She was she
she was
was she
turned
was in
the
a
wrong
bad
way. If she had
yeah
been
she was in a
looking
bad
towards
position.
him, If she was looking towards him, she would have known immediately, and she might have been able to escape. But she
Yeah.
had her back turned, and by the time she turned around, she was done.
Yeah, I think she was in the worst position, and then also Mundi, that dude was surrounded like he was a sitting duck.
Oh my
He
goodness,
was
he took so
surrounded
many
by
rounds.
clones. Yeah. And that wasn't satisfying to me as actually it's not satisfying. That's creepy. It was never satisfying to me.
To watch a
But
Kitty Moody die?
right, but I get it
No,
now. I get it now. There's an article written by Brian Sullivan from Sci-Fi Wire. Is called "Why Mundi Sucks,"
that was the best article
ranking
I've ever read.
ranking the Jedi
From
Council.
yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
top 10 or whatever.
weren't him and Windu the top two?
The bottom two, you mean?
Bottom two, I mean, like the top of the
Yes.
worst. Yeah.
Windu might have been 8. Mundi was definitely the worst, and then it might have been Yarl Poof, number 9, and then
Oh, and
Windu.
Commander Krell was the other one.
He's not a Jedi Council member.
Well, no, but they were saying bad Jedi because he killed all those
Yeah.
clones. Obviously, the clones probably did not like him because when you kill their brothers, they don't appreciate that.
All right, get us back on track, John.
Anyway, get us back on track. I'm just saying to keep that in the back of your mind that I think that's indicative of other clones. So I think that was meant for something even bigger than just Rex and Ahsoka. Keep that in mind. So anyway, we see the shield door to Maul get deactivated by the two clones, and they open the cell to the capsule. And I'm just thinking to myself this whole time as they're opening the capsule to his cell, what the heck are they doing? Just just go detonate this thing. Do not open the cell. Do not open the cell. I was like, obviously, I want Maul to
Yeah,
escape, and we know he's
a
going to
part of me
escape.
thought
But
he was gonna go crazy on him, but he was completely locked in there, and like the way that he kind of like was kind of trying to jiggle his way out was honestly sad, and I was like, oh my gosh, like
yeah,
this
Darth
is
Maul being
super
helpless.
heartbreaking. Oh, oh man,
We've only seen
it's
him being
I'm shook.
helpless one other time.
I'm shook. Well, probably more than that, but
No, one other time being helpless was when obviously Sidious and him and Savage had just had ended their duel. That was the most helpless you've ever seen Maul along with this. So anyway, Maul is looking into the eyes of these clone troopers and he's preparing for death. And Ahsoka, of course, comes over, force pushes one into the wall, knocks him out, slices the blaster of the other guy, throws him up with a choke up to the top of the roof, and he looks like he's
yeah,
probably
that
dead.
was sweet.
I'm pretty sure she broke his neck or
I don't.
something.
I think she was just trying to knock him out. I don't think she was trying to kill. I don't think she killed any of them, but she hurt him pretty bad. I think she knocked him out.
Yeah, he's not going to be walking tomorrow. So anyway, yeah. So Maul is like, "I'm impressed you've survived," and
Yeah, he was shocked.
I was like, I was thinking about Yoda when Sidious was just like, Master Yoda, you survived, and
Yeah.
he goes, surprised. Like I was just like, oh, that's a good little throwback there. And so they start talking about the plan. She's like, I don't know why all the clones start turning on me, even Rex.
Well, wait. Before she says that, she's about to unlock him. It's like, don't make me regret this. I was like, yeah,
Duh.
that's a good one.
That's true. I forgot
Anyway,
about
keep going.
that. Yeah, but anyway, so then she tells Maul, I don't know why the clones turned on me, especially Rex, and then Maul goes, brilliant, and I was just like, oh, that was creepy, and he goes, that was my master's plan the whole time, saying that he turned the own army of the Jedi against the Jedi. He said that is,
Yep.
I mean, literally is a brilliant plan.
Yeah, he
But
turned. Yeah, he turned
yeah,
their own army against him. It was. I mean, when you look back at the Clone Wars and you had two disposable armies fighting for seemingly no reason, like it's incredible. It was brilliant. The whole thing was brilliant.
yeah, and it's wow, and this is where you really see the fullness of Sidious's plan. That even someone as brilliant as Maul
Didn't figure
didn't
that out.
actually crack it. He just knew something was wrong.
Yeah,
He knew what
Dooku
Order
knew,
6. Dooku, of
but
course, because he was
yeah.
technically a part of the plan. That was insane. That even somebody as knowledgeable and conniving and cunning as Darth Maul did not
Oh,
know.
formerly Darth, not just Maul.
Formerly Darth, now just Maul. That's right. That was really cool, just to show you how incredibly organized and ingenious Sidious was, and patient to be able to make this plan go in. This plan to go into effect. I mean, we're talking this was very, very much close to 25 years of planning.
Yeah, it's
So
wild.
that's just insane. So anyway, he executes it. Maul and Ahsoka know all the details now, although she doesn't really know that it's Palpatine. At least we don't get that sense.
No, she has no idea. He starts saying that you were wise. You were wise to team up with me. She was like, I don't think you understand this. I'm not teaming up with you. I need a distraction.
So go out there and cause chaos. It's what you're good at.
And then he asks, well, can you give me a fighting chance? So I'm assuming he's asking her for one of her lightsabers.
The little one. I
She
was like,
was like,
give him the little one. Give
yeah,
him the little
yeah,
itsy
give
bitsy one.
him, I forgot what it's called, but yeah. And she was like, you'll be fine pretty much. Like,
And he
you don't
was.
get it. Like, I'm not rooting for you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Can we be, I remember skipping ahead a little bit, but when you see Maul a few minutes later, with that, oh, just like
Going
that is
through
his pure brilliant, um, evil, terrifying, like moment of terror for Maul. That was incredible.
mowing
Just using the
through
force,
troopers without a lightsaber was
like
insane.
slicing their heads off with panels, like
Yeah,
that
from
was
the side. Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on a loop and I'm just gonna rewatch that. Like I love Maul and that was beautiful. Like obviously it called back to Rogue One with Vader, but like that was not really comparable because it was Vader and live action. But this was darn close, man. This is so good.
It was
I hope
pretty incredible.
I hope that that's not the last we see him all, and I don't think it will be because obviously he's still on the ship. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, and we're gonna bring the I'm
That's
gonna
a
bring
big
this up
Star
in a
Destroyer though.
second, but let's keep going. So
Yeah.
anyway, he starts going out there and causing chaos after Ahsoka tells him to go cause chaos. So they part ways. The clones then report to Commander Rex, saying that they've swept the whole detention level and that Maul and Ahsoka had escaped. So Rex is like, "Hey, go destroy the escape pods, secure the hangar, to make sure that they
Right.
they can't escape." And then we see Ahsoka sneak into this little storage room that was full of droids, including R7 and a droid that very much sounded like Chopper, but it wasn't
Chopper,
Chopper.
yeah, Chopper and R2. So we had R7A7, we had GG,
GG,
and
that's right.
CH33P. To me, this is where the episode at the first time I watched it kind of slowed down, and I was like, felt like I left Siege of Mandalore and I left the series finale arc of the Clone Wars, and I kind of fell back into like season one Clone Wars almost, like with Ahsoka and her droids. But on the second run through, I was like, oh no, this fits. I like this. But before that, I was like, oh man, this is almost like it slowed me down for a second. But then after this first viewing, it got a lot better. But anyway, because this scene gets really good here after she gets the droids. So she enlists the droids for her help. And of course they're going to help her because they're like, what happened to the clones? And she was like, I don't know. And basically, so she accesses the central computer and gets some files on fives, CT5555. And those files contain a hologram of our favorite Kaminoan medical scientist, Nala Se. I actually just watched that whole arc before we went on this
Yeah,
podcast
I
because,
forgot it was Nala Se. I actually
yeah,
thought that
it was
this
Lama Su.
was Lama Su. Yeah,
No, we like Lama Su. She's better than,
they're all terrible. They're all evil.
well, Nala Se is the worst, but
And then
if you, yeah,
the well, not the king of the community wins. That's a poor choice of words.
the
When is he
prime
like their
minister,
president, their prime
prime
minister?
minister, yeah. What's his name? She's Lama Su says it in episode 2. You should know this.
Oh
Attack of the
yeah, no,
Clones.
no, no. I have it. I love Attack of the Clones. Let's see. No,
Okay, well,
Lama
you probably
Su.
won't be.
Lama Su is the king.
No,
Yeah,
I think that's
this
the
is the
woman.
prime minister, Lama Su.
Okay, then what's her name?
Her name has to be
Tanwi. That's it.
Tan Wee.
Tanwi.
There you go.
Tanwi. I can just hear Boba. Oh man, what's Boba's name?
Uh, uh,
His real name. Logan. Daniel Logan. I just hear him saying it. Anyway,
my
okay. I
dad,
don't know why we're
Tan
talking
Wee's
about.
here.
I don't know why we're talking about episode 2. Kaminoans. Ugh. Okay. Anyway,
Filthy Kaminoans.
so
Yeah.
we're talking about the defect or whatever that they found, and that the Jedi Council and the Senate have accepted their findings, that it was a isolated case, etc. But that a grievance report had been filed by Trooper CT7567, aka Rex.
Mm.
And then it was encrypted. It was password protected, and she was like, "Oh, try Anakin's code of 8108." And I thought this was really cool because it's actually the release date for the original Clone Wars movie, which was August 10th, 8/10/2008.
Really
8/10/8. Yeah, release date of the Clone Wars movie,
did not
um,
pick that
12
up.
years ago. Yeah, crazy, right? I was like, because I always
Dave
said every
Filoni, you
number is
brilliant boffin.
significant. Every number is significant in Star Wars. I was like, okay, what's this? So there it was. I'm always interested to figure out what numbers. Like he's used his kids' birthdays and numbers before. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Not important to the story, but very cool.
No,
So she
that's
finds
cool
out,
little tidbit there.
yeah, no. And she finds out Rex, on the behalf of Fives, he's like, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears, but he had suspicions that the inhibitor chips that the Kaminoans placed in the clones at birth, that they had a different purpose. That they had a purpose that was not what it was intended for, that they thought it was intended for. So until
No,
now. So
no, that was
all we
crazy.
saw was Rex, like, well, Fives dying in Rex's arms.
We were never
Um,
sure if Rex was believing it or not, but
right.
clearly the suspicions
By
were
Rebels, we
confirmed
found that
here.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so that was awesome. I'm talking about the inhibitor chips, and while this is going on, of course, now that this conspiracy has been unfolded, although too late, almost too late, at least for for the rest of the galaxy, we see that Maul is, of course, this is where he's ripping the panels out of the wall,
Ugh.
using them for shields, decapitating clones,
And
slicing
then
them in
that
half with the
arm, that
panels.
arm,
I mean,
that
what
arm
on?
with the blast doors.
He was
Oh,
a he was literally like a Rancor in that hallway. It was
but he was
ridiculous.
so subdued and so calm. It was
He did
amazing.
he was just
Oh,
chill. He was just like, I'm just
just
doing Maul
strolling.
things. Yeah, he's just rolling through there like, I don't need a lightsaber. Who needs lightsabers? He's like, this is more fun. I get to destroy things and cause chaos.
I feel like we haven't given Maul enough credit. That dude is pretty darn powerful with the Force. Like, oh my gosh.
I still stick with what I said last podcast. I still think Anakin before he turned to the dark side doesn't beat Maul.
Okay, well, I don't agree with that,
I just had to
but
bring that up.
anyway,
But anyway,
yeah,
so while that's going on,
that was
they
incredible.
flip to the next scene, and
He's just running down
yeah,
the corridor, and then you see our favorite droids roll in and kind of trip him, and then R7 plays that hologram of Ahsoka, trying to tell him that it wasn't his fault
and then he
and that she
holds the
knows
droid
why.
hostage. That was
He's like,
so
"Where is
funny to
she?"
me. And then
Um,
she turns and he turns around
he's like,
because
"I'm
Ahsoka
here."
says, "I'm right here." And then zhip, they knocked him out just like R2 would. Gave him a good little
Zapped.
taser.
Yeah, and then they bring him to the medical bay, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong, and like, well, they're trying to figure out where the chip is, and they can't seem to find it.
Yeah, they tried what 2 or 3 times with no luck, and then
Yeah, they
Ahsoka
just kept
starts.
scanning and didn't find it, and then with this beautiful moment that I was not expecting.
No, none of us were. What Ahsoka putting her hand on Rex's
Hmm.
head and recites the Guardian's mantra, and it's "I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me." And
And then
many of
as
you,
we continue saying it, Rex starts to repeat it too.
and then he begins to
That
repeat
was
it.
really cool.
But this was a crazy tie-in to Rogue One
Rogue
because
One.
this was, of course, Chirrut
Yes.
Imwe's line of fame. I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. I mean, it was fantastic. But we know that the Guardians' mantra now, officially, it is a prayer by the Guardians of the Wills who protected the Kyber Temple in Jeddah City.
Yeah, so it wasn't just specific to Cheer It.
It
That
wasn't
was
just
pretty
specific to
cool.
him, right? So this goes farther than him, which is good to know because we
Yeah.
were just like, what?
I will say that that didn't do like a ton for me. I was like, oh, that's cool, but at the same time, I was like, I felt it was a little out of place, but it was still cool.
I
I mean, who
think
doesn't
the
love a
whole
little fan
idea of
service?
this was she was tapping in and asking for the Force's help to reveal
Yeah, kind
where
of
this
like
chip
Ray, be
was.
with me.
Yeah, be with me. Exactly. I think that's
Right.
kind of what was happening, and I enjoyed it. I did feel that it was like, wow, where'd this come from? But it was a refreshing, wow, where'd this come from?
Right.
So yeah, then boom, he wakes up.
Yeah, well, no, they didn't wake up. They find the chip.
Oh geez, yeah,
Somehow
my bad.
I somehow the Force worked to allow him to open up and find the chip. I'm not really sure how that works, but it's pretty cool. We can have debates on
It's
that
almost like
later.
the Force
But
manipulated the machine to where it would point it out,
yeah,
because it seems like
maybe
this machine is designed to not pick it up. Because remember, this is
true. It's a Republic.
it's a Republic ship, so obviously when
Yeah,
they do scans, it's not going to pick it up because it's a conspiracy. No one knows it's
that
there.
makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, so the Force, in
No,
my
that's a good
opinion,
thought.
manipulates this machine,
Yeah,
very
that's a good
much
thought.
like we see in A New Hope when Uncle Uncle Owen and Luke actually don't select R2D2. What they do is they actually select another droid, but his motivator, seemingly some reason, blows up as he's skirting away with C with Luke, and it blows up, and then R2 is the only one left, and then he takes R2. So I feel like this is very similar to that. I kind of saw some similarities that this was the Force stepping in when it was necessary. But
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good thought. I mean, I like it. I'm on board. I subscribe to that.
hey, that's good.
Yeah, and then you see, so she tells R7, is it R7? Or does she tell, yeah, I think she tells R7 to get that chip out of his head and put him under. And then she tells the other droid, Gigi, to seal the doors. Is like, once they come in, you got to close that door. And then you see the clones break in. And then you see Ahsoka just blocking, deflecting, force pushes. Super cool. And then she actually, her Shoto lightsaber is what it's called. That's what it's called.
Yes,
Her left wrist gets shot. I don't think she actually gets hit in the hand, but I think the
I think the
lightsaber gets hit.
saber got destroyed, didn't it? That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
I need to slow it down and watch it again, but yeah, she drops her. Might have just hit her like comlink stuff, but yeah, maybe. And then she dropped her Shoto lightsaber, her smaller one, and then it's down to one arm. And then you begin to see Rex kind of draw his pistols, and then you're like, okay, is he gonna shoot the clones or is he gonna try to shoot Ahsoka? And he shoots the clones, and then allows the doors to close. Gigi seals it, and then yeah, that's it. I mean, and then we see Ahsoka like, "Are you okay?" And then Rex is like, "Yeah, I'm okay." He calls her kid, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Just
Yeah,
like old times.
just like old times. And Ahsoka is like, "How widespread is this?"
He goes, all of us, Commander. All of us across the whole galaxy. We've all, every single clone. Well, no, he said the whole Grand Army of the Republic has been programmed to destroy the Jedi Knights. And
Why are you like British
I was trying to
or
talk like,
Scottish? He's
talk
New
like,
Zealand.
yeah, I know he's New Zealandish,
Yeah.
but hey, either way, I tried. But anyway, that's what he says. And
Yeah.
do you recall? I just want to see if you pick this up. Maybe I'm just way too much of a, I'm just way too audiographic and photographic. I can just remember things really weirdly. Does
Or
that
maybe you're
line
just
remind you of
really
anything?
patronizing and everyone knows what you're talking about. You just think you're the
I'm
only
just a
one who
butt.
does.
What can I say?
Which is what happened last week. I was like, yeah, how could they not know that, dude?
No,
Anyway,
but
keep going.
what did that line remind you of?
His line? His last
Yes,
one?
yes.
I don't know. Tell me. I'll
Ben
probably figure it out.
Kenobi when he said, when remember he was talking to Luke in the Empire during A New Hope. Remember when they were in the hut?
In their hut?
Yep. And they're having that talk about, well, you were a Jedi Knight. Yeah, I was a Jedi Knight just like your father. Basically, then he goes in before the Dark Times. He keeps going. He says before the Dark Times, before the Empire hunted down all the Jedi Knights, and I was just like, wow. So this was almost a little bit of a throwback to A New Hope. The way that he worded it, he didn't have to say Jedi Knights. He could have just said the Jedi, but he actually said Jedi Knights.
Oh, you're referring to the knights part. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So he didn't
Yeah,
have to say Knights.
that did
Yeah.
seem kind of forced the way he said knights. Okay, I see that now.
Yeah, so it was a
Okay.
little. I think it was a little bit of a nod to A New Hope, the story that Ben Kenobi would eventually tell Luke. And then, pretty much the second he says that, they look at the door and they see that
Mm-hmm.
someone is trying to cut through the door, and it cuts, and that's it.
Created by George Lucas.
Created by George
Silent.
Lucas. The question is who do we think is trying to come through the doors? Do we think it's actually the clones, or do we think it's somebody else? Because it looked like
Well,
a lightsaber, but I
well,
think it might have
no,
just
but
been a
it was
sealer.
coming from both sides. It
Was
was
it?
coming from both sides.
Was it really?
I think so. I just saw it again. I think it's coming from both
Oh,
sides.
then they're probably breaching the
So
door then.
it's
Okay.
clones. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely that. I don't know what's gonna happen next,
I
but
was like, surely it's not Maul. He doesn't have a lightsaber.
yeah. And the funny thing is, we get this episode on Monday, probably Sunday night at like midnight.
Well, 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
3 a.m. Eastern.
12 Pacific. I'm in Mountain Time, so I got it at 1, which is not
So
bad.
I'm in Central. So yeah.
I got a little bit later than you did though. You got it like what, 1:15, well,
Yeah, I got
2:15
I
your
got it at
time,
like 1:15,
or
1:17, something
2:15,
like that.
2:15.
2:15, my bad. Yeah. And you were just like, I didn't. What the heck?
Took me another 5 or 10 minutes for mine to pop up, and then it did. So I was about 10 minutes behind you, but it was super good.
It
So
was so worth staying up. It really
yeah, oh,
was.
yeah. I kind of woke up and I was like, oh, I've already seen it. Darn.
So the question is where we go from here is obviously we both agree that this is an incredible episode. By the way, I checked
Oh
the
yeah.
ratings so far. As of now, this is the highest rated episode of all time. No,
Really?
no,
Over Phantom Apprentice?
yep. Now, I'm not saying that's going to stick, but according to IMDb and a few other places, this is the highest rated episode that they've ever had.
Ah,
Now,
that's
granted,
interesting.
it might not stick.
Is that like critic or something or what?
That was audience scores.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's
So
interesting. Yeah, I would not have thought that. But I mean, Phantom Apprentice is amazing. I'm still sticking to my guns there, but whatever.
it had to have been either Phantom Apprentice or this episode. I mean, these are clearly the
Yeah.
two greatest episodes they've ever made, in my opinion. I haven't seen anything better.
You know what's funny is that this is like literally it's kind of a setup episode, to be honest. You could I mean, it's not a filler, but you know it's a setup for obviously the next episode, much like Old Friends Not Forgotten was. So I think number 4. I mean, this next episode is going to be just off the rails. I can't like obviously I know some plot points are going to happen. We're going to see Rex and Ahsoka faking their deaths, etc. Well,
Do you think
you
they're
know,
going to fake their deaths?
well, that's what it said in the Ahsoka book. They've retconned a couple of things out of that, which is fine, but I don't know.
Okay, so if the plot line makes it in the episode to where they have to fake their deaths, sure. But as of right now, from where we stand in the episode, I don't think it's going to happen. But if something were to change early in the next episode,
I think it has to, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I really, that's the thing. Like, I know like general plot points that have to happen more or less to an extent, but I also accept the fact that I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm just going to enjoy it. I am 99% sure it's going to end with a monologue from Ahsoka, like Sabine gave in Rebels at the end. Might be a flash forward. I don't know. But it potentially could set us up with how she ties into the Mandalorian. It could set us up with how she ties in. It's definitely going to tie in how Rebels happens, but you know, it could tie into a lot of things. It could springboard a lot of stuff. You could get a Baby Yoda reference. Who knows? Doubt it.
man, tying this into the Mandalorian would be a stretch. I mean, we got to understand.
Well, why though? I mean, she was just on Mandalore and she just saved the Mandalorian people to an extent. So I feel like that's easy to tie her in.
I agree with you, but we're talking Mandalorian is set 20, almost 30 years from here.
True. But I mean, at least to an extent, like, oh, but yeah, we have the whole Ahsoka book. She has to get, you know, into the rebellion, which is from Bail Organa anyway. So I can't see them doing much outside of getting her to that point. So they'd have to do a flash forward of her during some time with the rebellion before Rebels, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say how it's going to end, to be honest. I don't want to be Dave Filoni here. That's hard.
I am very confident at the moment that they are going to be making more episodes. Maybe not technically called Clone Wars, but there is going to be more going on here. And I think,
Well, in the words of C-3PO, you have been known to be wrong from time to time.
I mean, obviously, but not not too often. I'm just telling you that I think that it's very evident from some of the writers at Lucasfilm, the animators, where they said, if you keep receiving them like this, we're going to keep making them. I mean, he made it pretty clear.
Right. It'd be great.
So I would imagine this is not the end of this show. And if it is the end of this show, there's going to be a spin-off. I think honestly we're going to see Maul. I think the Maul series is going to happen. I think the Ahsoka series, maybe not Ahsoka specifically, but Ahsoka will be in the Rebels sequel, and she'll also perhaps be in the Mandalorian. I think that's what's been hinted at very strongly thus far. I think we will see her in season 2. I'm about
Well, it's been rumored.
I'm
It's
about
not official.
90% sure.
I say it is unofficially official. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm about
I think at this
90% sure
point,
we will, and I think that's why the big
right.
talk of Rosario Dawson's being made. So, um,
But until we hear from Star Wars itself, Disney,
but
man,
Filoni posted that picture of Ahsoka Mandalorian thingy, and we're just like, oh, here we go, here we go. So I'm pretty confident.
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
But
that's if Filoni does that kind of stuff, he's trying to tell you something, and that's why I have no idea what's coming in this next episode. Like literally, this is shocking. I thought we were gonna see Anakin maybe in the Jedi Temple a little bit. We might even get a flash.
still could. We're
We
not
still
even
could.
there yet. Like we're
Oh, that's
approaching
right.
Jedi. We're approaching Temple.
We're approaching the
And so
temple here.
that's actually a question I had for you. I want to touch the last related report we didn't really get to is the Order 66 part where you hear Anakin like Hayden Christensen. Oh, that was so cool to have him back. Hearing Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson, like you hear that Mace Windu and that Anakin Skywalker in that throne room.
And that Ian McDiarmid, right?
Yeah, well, yes, and he was also Execute Order 66 as well.
Sure.
But yeah, so you see both of them, you hear both of them as Ahsoka's hearing that, and as you know, so is Maul. I want you to kind of walk me through your experience in hearing that Order 66 happen. hearing that happen as Ahsoka and Maul do. What were your thoughts there? Like, what are
Got
your
the
thoughts on that?
chills. That was insane. That she was almost vicariously living or experiencing Anakin's experience for about 5 seconds, where she was hearing what he heard, feeling what he felt. Yeah, like it was insane to me. I was like, whoa, that is
Well, I think it's fair to say too, she might have actually heard all that. That might have just been us. You know, like we know what's going on. She might have just been feeling things or sensing something. Like she might not necessarily have heard all of
well, she
that.
said Anakin.
Oh, you're right. She does. Well, maybe
I'm
she's. I mean, yeah,
I'm pretty confident she heard that. That's what I'm saying. Is I think that's why
right.
that was in there. It's I think because when her saying Anakin, that was her actually experiencing what we were hearing.
Okay, so what about the rest of Order 66? How that would that do for you?
What do you mean?
Like
As
outside of like see for me, I'll just tell you what I thought. So for me, like obviously that was amazing, but during while you're hearing all of that happen and execute Order 66, all that stuff happens. Like for me, I was just kind of sitting there in a puddle of emotions and I was seeing all of episode 3. I was seeing Katamundi, Plo Koon, Ayla Secura, Obi-Wan. Like I was seeing all that happen and feeling it. I was like, man, this is hard like to go through this again. It was
I,
so good
I see what you're
and well
saying.
done. Yeah, it was great.
Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I it was it hit me like a brick. Did not see that coming. At least at
Well, you
that level, like to
oh,
where.
I did. Oh
Oh, I
gosh,
did.
I knew it. Order 66 was going to be a wreck for me.
Oh no, no, no!
Oof.
I'm talking about the way that they did it. The Anakin and Mace Windu and Sidious.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was incredible. And once again, there's some interesting notes to make because of this. That is, to me, going to have strong implications on the next episode. Obviously, she feels the darkness. She hears whatever's going on with Anakin. She's not exactly sure. She knows he's in pain. You can definitely see that in her face. She doesn't feel anything else other than just Anakin. And now let's be real. Who are the
Because she has
three?
a special connection with him.
Well, who are the three people she has the best connection with?
Jedi or anybody?
Period. In the whole series, who's the
Let's see.
connection? The connection.
Well, obviously Anakin, Rex, Obi, Plo
Plo
Koon,
Koon.
and
So
then oh, is this where we're
no,
going?
no, no. Just bear with me for a second here.
Oh, I bear with you a lot with the topic.
I know, well, because obviously we talked about that theory video yesterday, but
Yeah, there's a video up if you want to hear Jonathan's thoughts on why Plo Koon is alive. It will be linked at the end of this video, so check it out. Also, it is the previous podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, everywhere you can find it. So check that out.
well, I was just going to mention that in the Shadow Malevolence, the Rising Malevolence episode, where we see him get trapped in the Avogadro system, after Grievous basically dismantles their ship with his ion cannon, and they're in the escape pod. Plo Koon is trying to keep the clones calm, and he's like, I know that if we keep leaving, someone will come find us. And of course, he has all of his great lines there. But then what he decides to do is he tries to connect with Ahsoka in the Force, and he does it successfully. He is from, basically a planet away, maybe not necessarily a planet away, but significantly on the other side of this planet. He's able to connect with her, and she's able to come and find him. She has very strong connection to him. She has a very strong connection to Anakin. She even has somewhat of a decent connection with Obi-Wan. And I think it's interesting that she did not feel anything about Plo Koon, which tells me he is alive. Obviously, we know Obi-Wan's alive. We know Yoda's alive. I think there's going to be, I think in the next episode, building off of this, we might see some Order 66 clips. At this point, I'm actually leaning against it. I actually thought that would happen this episode. If we do, I think it'll be a montage, but I don't know if we're actually going to see any scenes of Order 66. I just don't think they're going to
Yeah,
have enough time.
it's a toss up. I mean, we could it'll only happen in the montage. I think that's the only way it can happen. But
Yeah.
I think largely this next episode is going to be how her and Rex get out
Mhm.
and escape, and then kind of go into hiding. And then, I mean, maybe you'll get your wish. Maybe you'll get a little bit of Wolf and Gregor because we have really no idea how they get all joined together. So I
You
mean,
heard about
that's
Gregor?
all part of it. Well, like Wolf and Gregor, like they're the last. Him and them two and Rex are the last clones that are in Rebels.
That's true.
Yeah, so I don't know how they meet up and all that. So
I wonder if they're gonna piece that together.
I would think so, because I mean it's part of the Clone Wars. I mean, I would maybe again it could be part of a montage, but
I just wanted to make the note to our listeners that another interesting thing is that Wolf actually is nearby to Rex. Plo Koon and Wolf are on Cato Nemoidia right now. Cato Nemoidia is literally next to uh,
Mandalore.
where they were in Mandalore, and this is not. This is just in briefly
Right,
into
but at the
hyperspace.
same time though, they're en route to Coruscant, so not
Are they
anymore
actually
per
moving
se.
at this point? I thought they were
Yeah, they're in
stopped.
hyperspace.
I guess
No, they're in
they
hyperspace.
still are in hyperspace. So yeah, I guess that
Yeah, they're
that
still
might
in
not come into
hyperspace.
play as much as I thought.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the Kid and Morty thing at this point now is pretty null and void.
But Wolf was
Um,
nearby. That's what I was going to say. But now that doesn't make any sense if they're in hyperspace and they're probably pretty far away at this point.
right. Yeah. So, one last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into our final thoughts is I thought it was interesting that Maul sensed Order 60, like sensed all that happening too. He sensed the death, and he sensed the like it almost like I would have assumed he would have sensed it to an extent, but the way he felt it almost felt as if it was remorse. You know, like how they talked about in the episode where the Prime Minister of Mandalore,
Yep.
oh man, what's his name? Aldeck, Almec,
Almec.
where
Yeah.
he said that Maul had a just this strange sense of remorse or of dread. I thought it was really interesting. I really feel like there's more to Maul than a lot of people give him credit for, and I thought that was a really cool moment that, as a dark side user, he sensed all that death, and I think in a bad way. Like I feel like he sensed it much like Obi-Wan sensed the explosion of Alderaan. I think that was really cool, and I was like, wow, that's interesting because I feel like Maul would not have been a person who have sensed that, before all that. I thought that was really interesting.
You see, I see what you're saying, and I would agree partly, but I had to disagree with you on a different side of Maul because let's be real here. The only time Maul has ever felt anything towards someone has been to Savage. Now, granted, he did to Mother Talzin as well, kind of a different kind of connection there, but Savage was his brother. But we have to understand is that what did he call Savage? He treated Savage terribly initially. He called him apprentice. He didn't even call him his brother. But towards the end, him and Savage were really close. And I think that's really the only time we ever see a different side of Maul. Because even in Rebels, when we see him get killed by Obi-Wan, the only thing he thinks about in his death was, remember, Obi-Wan hits him and he goes, "Tell me, is it the chosen one?" And then Ben goes, "He is." He said, "He will avenge us." Like that's literally
Yeah.
the dying thought he had as he was dying. That's the only thing he could muster was vengeance. So I'm not going to discount what you're saying because I do think that maybe he is feeling some remorse, but I feel that he feels this way more now that he feels how used he is because he feels that this could have been him. He could be in Anakin's situation right now, but he was tossed aside. And I think even now, Maul isn't feeling remorse. I think he feels empty. I think he feels lost. That's how I see it. But once again, that probably is up for debate. What do you think
Yeah,
about that?
no, that's fair. That's fair. But you do know Mother Talzin is actually Maul's mother, right?
Technically, Maul's mother. That's true.
I mean, not technically, is his mother.
Oh, I thought that there was like some sort of like,
No, no, you find that in Son of Dathomir. Actually, like that
dadgummit,
is
I got to
actually
read
her
some of these
son.
things.
You've got to get into Son of Dathomir. I mean, it's an incredible precursor to this because you see how Maul escapes Sidious. Yeah, Sidious let him escape, but anyway, that's how you see that. And then you find out that Mother Talzin is the actual mother of Darth Maul. It's
Dum
pretty
dum
cool.
dum.
And then when Maul and Sidious when Sidious and Mother Talzin were working together and learning, that's where Palpatine learns all of his Sith alchemy. He saw the potential in Maul and then stole him and left. So that's why they're not on good terms.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that would do it.
Definitely making Maul feel empty. Man, poor guy.
So
I honestly
anyway,
feel for Maul.
oh yeah, I one of the most tragic characters in Star Wars, but was Survivor, man. Like holy mackerel, like he makes it farther than anybody. Like he makes it almost as long as Obi-Wan does. Like that's nuts. Just a few years.
I stick with my
Um,
original statement on Maul. I think what Maul does in the underworld, and what he does to establish himself is more impressive than what Sidious does. I'm sorry. Sidious had help from Plagueis to get established, to get influence, to get into that area of power. He already had Plagueis' help for manipulation. Maul's got nothing.
Yeah,
Maul,
Maul built his empire from the ground up.
he literally built his empire from nothing. And I think that's
Yep.
so incredible about his character, that he is
Yeah.
resourceful.
All right, Jonathan, final thoughts on this episode and going into the next.
Man, dude, that's a tough one. I'm just gonna be eagerly awaiting the next episode. I was really hoping we would see some Order 66 like scenes in this one, so that I could see my boy Plo and see
So
some.
fair to say you're a little disappointed? Question mark.
I was disappointed that I still have to wait because I was so nervous watching this episode. Like I was
Right.
sweating. I was like, wow, I am way too nervous right now about this episode. But now I
That's good.
realize that something's going to have to happen in this last episode, and if they don't touch it, which I find that unlikely, obviously I'll be very disappointed if he ends up not surviving. But at this point, I'm about 90% sure he's going to survive.
Okay, so give me an answer that doesn't involve Plo Koon. What are you hoping to see? Because we already know you're hoping to see that. What are you
Yeah,
hoping to see in this next episode, and what are you expecting to actually see?
I really,
Plo Koon excluded.
yeah, Plo Koon excluded, of course. Um, I really just hope that they fill in, at least hint, and leave us on a good, basically foundation of where Ahsoka goes after this. Like getting connected with the Republic. Sorry, with the Rebellion. I think that's important. And I think Filoni obviously has this planned out, because once again, Ahsoka's like his baby. So I'm sure he's going to leave her on a good arc, in a good position. So I think we will see that, and I'm hoping to see that. I want to see how she gets involved with Bail Organa and the rest of the Alliance. I also want to see, where does Rex go? Like, how do him and Gregor and Wolf end up, on that island? Well, not island, on that deserty planet. I just would like to at least get some ideas as to how that all happened. So that's really about it. That's really what I'm hoping for, other than who.
The one who shall not be named.
The one who shall not be named, yeah. And obviously, I'd like to see a little bit of Maul go back to his base and reunite with Voss and, well, sorry, Dryden Voss, not Quinlan Voss. I want to clarify that. Dryden Voss and the Pikes. So that'd be really cool. That's just what I'm hoping for, and I think that's probably what we'll get, because I think we all know that Filoni, unlike other people in the Star Wars industry like J.J. Abrams, know how to finish a series and know how to have a good conclusion, without absolutely, utterly ticking off the fandom, and the fandom actually being pleased. I think this is going to be, as Bing Crosby would say in White Christmas, the slam bang finish. And I think that's what we're going
What
to get.
kind of reference was
I
that?
have no
Oh my
idea why I just thought
gosh.
White Christmas.
Dude, what are you, 80? Like
Hey, man, it's a classic. Hey,
1940.
it's like that's
Gosh.
like the OT Star Wars
Okay,
of
all right.
Christmas
No, no, no,
movies.
no. No, we're done. We're done with that. Moving on to mine
Okay,
for final thoughts.
citizen.
First of all, how dare you? Number one, J.J. Abrams. Don't you dare throw him under the bus for finishing a series.
Oh, I know. Well, that
Oh
was
my
wrong of me,
gosh,
but let's be
that
true.
was
Let's be real.
horrible.
J.J. Abrams is long known not to be able to finish a series. Have you ever seen
No,
Lost?
that's fair. That's fair. No, a lot of things happen in Lost for no reason
But
all the time.
TLJ was kind of part of that
It,
problem.
I will say this, and we will move on. It is a tragedy that the sequel trilogy was riddled with a lack of direction and multiple directors with multiple visions. So that is, I'm not going to blame them. JJ 7 was amazing, 8 was good, but kind of derailed things, and then 9 left us with pieces to pick up. So that's what I'm going to say with that. Anyway, final thoughts on this episode. Was it as good as the last one? I mean, no, it's hard to beat Ahsoka versus Maul. That was incredible. It was awesome. I love this episode. Order 66 had me, and just watching the whole episode the second time really, honestly, the second viewing is better than the first, which is not something I say often, but watching it a second time was really, really like, oh man, it hits you in the feels because you kind of know what's coming, and it's really good. And I would say for next episode, yeah, I just want to see some Maul. That's really all I care about. Not all. Okay, that's a lie. It's not all I care about. I do want to see Maul again. I think it'd be tragic to end it like that with Maul. So I want more Maul. Obviously, I want to see what happens with Rex and Ahsoka, and I really want to see that montage at the end with Ahsoka talking about the Clone Wars.
Assuming she does it, but it would make sense that she would.
Right, and I think that you're going to end Rebels with Sabine, and then them going to find Ezra. I think it's only fitting that we end the Clone Wars with the fulcrum of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano giving a narration, talking about the Clone Wars, and maybe seeing some clips of Obi-Wan, seeing some clips of Anakin, seeing Order 66, the survivors, and the not so lucky ones. And that's the way I want it to end. I want it to be this beautiful, not just intro, middle, and then outro of episode 3, but continuing on to Rebels and A New Hope. I think that is so important. So I'm really excited for this last episode. It comes out in 2 days, 3 days, on Monday, May 4th, with a lot of good merch, apparently. There's some really cool stuff coming out on May 4th.
Wow, on May the 4th? Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, May the 4th with you. As well as Rise of Skywalker on Disney+. So that'll be available too, if you don't already own it. Yeah, so that's my final thoughts. I loved it. A great episode. I'm excited for the next one. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. I mean, ready for Monday, and I'm not ready for this to be over.
It's the end of an
Because I
era.
remember watching the first episode of Bad Batch, and I was like, oh, we got so much time left. And I just wanted to get to Mandalore so bad. And now here we are, and we're in the last one, and I'm sad. So
I'm not trying to knock on Clone Wars at all, but now that we really see that there could have been more to this, I am really upset that we had so much arc on the Martez sisters. I'm sorry. Sure, maybe it was somewhat important for Ahsoka, but for the love of crap, could you have done it some other time? Like, man.
we needed to see Ahsoka kind of build up to this. And that I don't know how much more of this we could have handled. Like, I think that they dealt with this beautifully in the time that they had, from Old Friends Not Forgotten to The Phantom Apprentice, and that was incredible. And then to this, they really spent a lot of time on this, and that's great. And now we don't even know where they're going to go after this. So I don't think they needed more time with this.
If it doesn't go anywhere else, they need more time. That's all I'm going to say. I was very disillusioned with the Martez storyline. I
Is that
thought
your
it
favorite word?
sucked.
Is that
I'll
your
just
word of
be
the day?
honest.
Disillusioned. I wonder if you can even define that.
Of course, I can define it.
Yeah, were the Martez
I was
sisters
basic.
perfect? No, but I don't think that you need to. I mean, we needed it. They focused a
There
little
was
too much on the
one good
Martez.
part of that whole arc, and that was them actually seeing the Pikes. We're like, oh, that's the guy Dooku talked to. Other than that, that was it.
No, there was plenty of good
So
stuff. I mean, yeah, there was plenty of good stuff in that arc, especially the latter episodes. You see Maul, and he begins to sense Ahsoka in the room, like so many cool things. But you needed that. You needed to see how Ahsoka was dealing with the Jedi and how Ahsoka was dealing with that stuff. You can't just throw her back into Mandalore without any character development on how she got there, and it just
oh, I
doesn't
don't
make sense.
disagree. I just think they could have picked something a little bit more entertaining because honestly,
But at
that
the
was
end of the
the
day,
stalest 4 episodes of Clone Wars history, in my opinion.
have you seen A Sunny Day in the Void? Have you seen A Sunny Day in the frickin' Void?
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Which episode?
Oh,
What?
come
Where?
on. The droid arc where they had that little general dude who was inside a droid.
Gosh, even the droid arc
I
was there in
mean,
this. I remember
at
that.
least I
I at
think
least thought it was
I
humorous.
think Gregor ended up in that arc.
That makes
But
sense. No, I thought it was at least humorous. I don't know. I'm not dissing
yeah, no,
Filoni
I'm
or
just saying, you how dare you say anything was more boring than A Sunny Day in the Void? It's literally A Sunny Day in the Void. Is that all that episode? Dude, just go watch that episode. Will put you to sleep. Go watch it, because I'm insulted right now. I'm
once again,
insulted.
I'm not dissing Filoni. I'm not dissing this series. I'm just saying is that I felt that that arc was a waste of Ahsoka's character. I thought they could have did something different, but we got
Here's the
these
thing.
four
Yeah, at the
episodes,
end of the day,
so I'm happy. I will never go rewatch those 3 or 4 middle episodes ever again. I will. There's just no point. But these four, well, as of right now, these three, but it will be the fourth. Absolutely legendary. And Dave Filoni has once again delivered for the fandom. He needs to get his own movie series. He needs to be the CEO of Disney. They need to get Kathleen Kennedy and her
okay. Well,
butt
this is
and
not this
her
is not a Disney anyway.
cronies
Okay,
out of there, and they need to put Filoni in charge. Because let me
I'm
tell you
about to boot
something.
you off this
This
podcast.
guy loves Star Wars, and even more than Star Wars, you know what he loves more?
People,
The
oh,
fans.
cowboy hats,
He cares
wolves.
about the
I can
fans,
I
and
can
he
I can go
has
on.
delivered.
Cowboy hats, wolves,
And cowboy hats and wolves. That's true. And
Ahsoka,
Plo Koon and Ahsoka.
Sabine, most of the Rebels
So
characters.
anyway, I just Dave Filoni, if you do listen to our podcast, which you probably don't,
Does
but
anyone listen to our
if you
podcast?
do,
And you said earlier, like, our listeners. I was like, LOL, like what, us? Maybe 2 people. So
Hey, that was a
no
joke.
one's
But
listening. It's
Dave,
okay.
if you do
This is
happen
for
to
our
be
own pleasure.
listening, just know that
We love you.
you are literally the only reason I did not give up on Star Wars after the sequel trilogy is because of you. You have done an
Okay,
absolutely
now you're making this like a
brilliant
creepy love
job.
letter. I'm done. At the end of the day, these 4 episodes make up for anything at all this season, if there was anything. I thought it was fine. It was still good. Was Martez sisters a little too much focus on them? Sure. But I don't mind because these 4 episodes have been incredible and I'm not thinking about anything. And in the words of Ahsoka, it's not really relevant right now. This is a
Short-term
movie.
pain for long-term
This is
gain.
a movie and it's incredible. No complaints. Moving forward. Very excited for Monday for May the 4th. And we'll be wishing you May the 4th be with you. And then Revenge of the 5th. And then, heck, Revenge of the 6th. Ah, dang it. I messed it up. Revenge of the 6th. It's going to be a good 3
Well,
days.
technically, there's two revenges, right? Revenge of the Fifth and Revenge of the
Right.
Sixth.
Like I just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I must have missed the fifth one. I heard the
Yeah. May
mess
the
up on the
4th be
sixth.
with
So,
you. Revenge of the 5th. And then Revenge of the 6th. It's hard to say Revenge of the 6th. So I feel
yeah,
like the
it's a weird
sixth
word.
is just an attempt at myself to extend the holidays for what they are. Anyway,
That's
so that's
fair.
going to do it. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode, talking about the Clone Wars episode number 11 of season 7, Shattered. We are excited to be back on Monday. If you have anything, throw it in the comments below on YouTube. Check out our other videos or anywhere that you get your podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, you name it. It's out there. Subscribe, be one of the first ones. Join us, send us some questions. Also, check out our website at coruscantcourier.com, where we have some articles and we'll be posting some more as we go, especially with this downtime of COVID-19. We've got some more time to devote to posting some stuff, so we're going to get some new posts up there with our Star Wars satire. We're enjoying it. So with that being said, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
To the most wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is the Coruscant Courier.
Now this is podcasting.
Mister, we're so excited to see you, sir.